going, you guys? The 1MFP here. I hope you're all having a great day today. If you've been following this channel, and more specifically, if you've been following this reaction series to Tyler Joseph's No Fun Intended, you know today's the day I'll be reacting to Save by Tyler Joseph. I'm pretty curious about this one right here, as it's been requested for a while now before I even started this No Fun Intended reaction series. This is the 4th song on the No Fun Intended track list. If you've missed my reaction to any of the prior songs, you could find it all in the No Fun Intended reaction playlist I'll have linked below. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to MFP Reacts. My name's Matt. I post reaction videos on this channel. I like expressing and explaining my interpretations of whatever it is I'm reacting to. So at the end of the reaction, after listening to the song or the music video, whatever the case is, you get to see that in these videos. If you like what you see, please take the time to check out some of my other reactions. If you enjoy those, please hit that subscribe button. I always appreciate the support. Now, without further ado, it's time to get into Save by Tyler Joseph off of No Fun Intended. Let's get right into it. That's that sound I thought came at the end of Hole in the Ground.
I won't take much of your time. What I have made inside these lines, it's as good as I can be. It's as good as I can be. Head tilted down, knees on the ground, and I will ask, please stop. Just enough for you to save me.
Man, what a beautiful song. There's a lot to say about this one here. Tyler and 21 Pilots as a whole, they know how to really incorporate different sounds in the same songs. Here, through the verses, Tyler is communicating a certain type of helplessness. Like, the first verse, he's saying, I won't take much of your time, I just want you to see what I have made inside these lines. It's as good as I can be. This tells me, much like I've mentioned in the past reaction, I think it was to A Hole in the Ground, Tyler has really done what he could to be the best version of himself, yet he doesn't feel like that is enough. He doesn't feel like he is sufficient. He feels there's things that he's doing that is disappointing God. And you could really feel the emotion behind that in the way that he's saying these lines. The overall sound of the verses really communicate this message effectively. Then we go into this chorus where the sound just completely contrasts what we were hearing in the verses. Instead of this slow, mellow, sad type tone, we have this intense screaming, and with those screams he's pleading, he's saying, please save me. And I think here we have a prime example as to why this contrast in sounds works so well for 21 Pilots. They're targeting different aspects about the same thoughts and they're associating the emotion behind those thoughts to the sound of the song. So in these verses where he's communicating a certain type of helplessness and a certain type of defeat in senses, with the chorus, he's expressing frustration. And it works well because it's relatable. You know, whether or not you can relate to the religious themes of these lyrics, I think most people can relate to the idea of trying really hard at something and not feeling like they've met expectations. It's just about feeling that sense of defeat, you know, feeling like you've given something your all, but also feeling like you haven't accomplished what you're set out to accomplish, or you haven't accomplished what you expected you would accomplish. All that to say, here we have a very good example as to why 21 Pilots is able to incorporate these different sounds into the very same song sometimes. There's a certain mindfulness about the topics and the ideas they're talking about, and there's a strong understanding of the emotions behind those ideas and those thoughts. So they manage to maintain continuity through the songs by relating different emotions tied to the same ideas, emotions that feed each other. And this is just a perfect example of that, and it's really impressive to see how early Tyler had a grasp of this. This is just a very well-structured song that captures different emotions tied to the same thoughts. For Tyler to be making something of this quality before, you know, ever really being exposed to music as an artist, this is his first venture. For him to make this that early on in his basement, it's really impressive. This song just has that raw emotion behind the lyrics that make it feel timeless. Once you hear a song like this, if it spoke to you in any type of way, you'll probably be coming back to it over time. Before I sign off on this video, I do want to get into a bit more of the subject matter. I think I've already covered a large part of how I interpreted the song, but to really conclude these thoughts, I'm getting the same sense of guilt in the lyrics that I got in Hole in the Ground. Tyler tries so hard to be this perfect version of himself that is in tune with this identity of his that is formed around this idea of faith. Somewhere along the line, he gets disappointed with the fact that he's not in tune with that image of him. At that point, there's this certain idea of guilt that either makes him try harder or it steers him away. He decides to run in a completely different direction. And that's where these lines in verse 2 of him saying, "I was ashamed to speak your name," I think that's where this comes in. There's a point where he's ran in a completely different direction where he's trying to avoid this idea of faith. He's trying to be something else. However, once he's this distant from his faith, guilt starts settling in again. There's a lack of guidance when he's on this other side where faith doesn't have so much of a say in his actions. When he lacks that guidance, a lot of questions start invading his mind, and they have him questioning whether he's doing the right thing. That's when this guilt settles in again, and it tells him that he's made the wrong decision. Then he feels ashamed for repressing this faithful side of him, and he gets closer to his faith again, and he asks for forgiveness. He feels his actions were disrespectful, and they were done to spite this faithful side of him, and he feels like he doesn't deserve this forgiveness he's asking for. And then with the end of the second verse, he's saying, "You're all I ever want to be." So I took this as he's explaining that despite him going in this completely different direction that ignores his faith, he very much wants to be this perfect image of himself that is completely in tune with his faith. But I think Hole in the Ground, the song that came right before this, gives us a lot of perspective as to why Tyler finds himself in this situation. As much as he tries to meet these expectations he's set for himself through his faith, his actions and the paths he takes, they don't lead him to where he expects them to lead him. So he ends up being led astray, he ends up being disappointed, he ends up feeling unaccomplished. Here in Save, we have Tyler expressing that feeling of frustration that comes with the feeling of feeling unaccomplished. And beyond that, in this song, we have Tyler expressing this side of him that asks for forgiveness in this moment of feeling like he's failed. That's pretty much how I heard Save. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I always love seeing your feedback. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I always appreciate the support. And I will see you all next time. Have a great day, y'all.